Members, I ask you to join me in adjourning in the memory of my brother, Robert Skinner, who died in early July. Rob was number 7 of 9. He was not my youngest baby brother, but he was still the little brother that I took care of as a little kid, and then off and on again through the years. He was beautiful, blonde, curly hair, blue eyes, chubby cheeks, and in his teenage years and most of his adulthood, he was strikingly handsome, lean, muscular, and if I were, my sisters, any of us, wherever we were with him, at Home Depot, at a hardware store, at the grocery store, every woman, no matter what age, couldn't take their eyes off of him. He was a head turner, and he made himself known with a booming voice and a big presence. In high school, he was a star football player, and being that star, he had a lot of injuries, and the result of those injuries is he couldn't play through college, which really was something he regretted greatly. He passionately loved sports, football and baseball in particular, and unlike me, who was a native of San Francisco, he was born in LA area. His team was the Dodgers. Anyway, he also loved the Raiders and Notre Dame. He had encyclopedic knowledge of movies. Ask him anything, he knew every line. He loved rock and roll, especially The Who, The Stones, and Pink Floyd. For most of his work life, he was a self-employed contractor, but more than that, he was a skilled builder. He built custom-designed houses and remodels with cabinetry, tiling, and more that he designed and built with his own hands. But his proudest accomplishment was his son, Kevin. He was a loving father, and he made sure to be in touch with Kevin at least weekly. Kevin lives in Chicago. And Kevin recently became engaged, and it further increased my brother's pride for Kevin. But my brother Rob, like so many people that we love, or who we know, or who are in our family, or our constituents, he had a lot of struggles. Addiction, mental health, likely bipolar disorder. Unfortunately, a number of addictions. Some he was able to tackle, other times they tackled him. While Rob was never incarcerated, he had a long rap sheet. He told me, and I certainly observed, that he believed that he got the benefit of the doubt because he was white, with the extra bonus of being blonde and blue-eyed. Rob is one of the reasons that so much of my work has been focused on criminal justice reform and anti-poverty, and especially in the area of housing, because in the last 12 or 15 years, he couldn't even afford to keep a roof over his head. For many years, he lived in my property, or he lived with another sister, or he lived in different spots, couch surfed and such. Thank God, never fully on the street, but whenever I or others realized that he was living in his car, we made sure to get him out of there. But our safety net is not enough to make sure that people like him are not either in the car or the tent. His struggles could often get the best of him, and it made it increasingly difficult, as I mentioned, for him to keep a job or secure new ones. He had many capabilities and so much to give, but he couldn't always function the way that we expect people to. He never gave up. He always kept trying. He, in fact, in the last couple of years, was diligently applying to all of the housing lists, and I think I mentioned that on the floor before. He finally got in to a subsidized unit that he could afford and had moved into a studio just in June. For the last few years, he was a volunteer football coach at Alameda High School, volunteering during a time when he couldn't even afford gas. So he'd ride his bike there miles. Being with those kids, though, gave him joy and purpose and joy that he so needed in the last 4 years while he was struggling most with his addictions, his mental health issues, and his poverty. Despite his challenges, my brother brought value to this world and to many people's lives. He gave much. I deeply loved him, I still can't believe I will never see him again. At only 62, Rob was taken too early. May he rest in peace, and may we all know and trust that every person has value and much to give. We in the legislature have the opportunity to ensure that the policies that we adopt give every person the opportunity to demonstrate their value and to be recognized for what they can give us. We need to commit ourselves to do that. Thank you for adjourning in my brother's memory.